So I want to give just a little idea about what you're doing nowadays today, because I heard Steve tell me that if there's a homeless person that got a meal in Baltimore, it probably came through Reverend Annie.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little about what you're doing today?
Today, we still going under the bridges, still feeding people under the bridge. We feed people right out front here. We have I have food come in, and I always try to keep food for someone that knock on my door and say they need food. I cook. My daughter brings food at least 3 times a week to me, cook food that we can feed the street people, And I just do anything that we can. Actually, I'm setting up a group now so that we can do some squatting and taking over some houses. Because this is disgrace. We got more homeless people in America than we have ever had. We got more people that's in poverty and people, I know they trying to hide it. And everybody talking about the little stimulus and everything. But when you really pull the water, people, that stimulus check don't pay even some people's rent. And we got more poor people than we've had in America, because I remember people could survive. Now, if you don't have money in America, you ain't gonna survive. You just, and I see the hardness of this country now. It's like, just let them die. Or that you're a useless person because you can't find a job, and it's stealing our children, from their families, because their families don't have, money to take care of them, So all of those are fights that I see us having, and those are things that I fight with every day. Young people in the prison system, and just people in general in the prison system, where they have warehoused in America. And when we look at this country, who's supposed to be, they use the word, other words, I say a civilized country. We the worst. I've been places, say like in Cuba, I never seen a homeless person. I never seen a homeless person. I talked to Fidel, and years ago, when I first got to Cuba, the Panther sent me to Cuba. And when I first got there, and I didn't see poverty like I see in America. I didn't see people begging. I didn't see, homeless people. I didn't see hungry people. And this was a country that they had put a blockade around.
Yeah.
And didn't want to allow the basic things in for those people. But they survived. Just because they wouldn't let them steal their country, because that's what it was. Because Kennedy and them, people do like to make him as a hero and what he did. And I would say his wife did some things, because, the food stamps had come about because of his wife. Surplus food came about because of John Kennedy's wife. Okay? But I know she went to him and talked to him after talking to us, because she would meet with poor groups, people. But Fidel, me and him talked, and first of all, he was just amazed that I had 25 children. And how I was still in the movement fighting. And we talked about segregation and all the things that's happening here in America and what's happening to us. And he was really, really, surprised of things that I had told him that I experienced as a young person, a child, and growing up in America. And, you know, he did a lot of good for the civil rights movement that he will never get credit for because, you know, a lot of black people really don't really know who he is or what he really did. But Fidel sent a lot of support to the civil rights movement. Yes.
Mandela helped him out.
Yes, yes. But Fidel sent money, so he trained us how to fight, how to, you know, work in the demonstrations. We, you know, he did a lot for us as black people. You know, I love him, you know, and it was just, my thing was to try to get to Cuba. And 6 months before he passed, I was supposed to go, and then something came up. I couldn't go. And then, you know, I heard that he had passed. But I did talk to Raul, and, you know, he, you know that I loved Fidel as a brother because he gave money to the Black Panthers. He gave money to Dr. King. See, people don't know that.
Yeah.
And Minister Malcolm, all of this was support for us. And it came from Fidel Castro.
Yeah.
Okay? And so he has, you know, done a lot for us. And I learned a lot of wisdom from him also.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from him. We would talk. And he would call me many mothers. He said, you got to go back and educate many mothers. So we would, you know, I didn't see sick people falling dead like on the streets here. I mean, I can go downtown and pick up a sick person. You don't see that. You didn't see that. And you could get and the children. See, that when we talk about our children here in America being respectful, it's because they weren't taught any. They weren't taught any respect. You know, in the schools, the children, the education all the way through is free. And so the children are taught respect and love for themselves. And you can't love nothing if you don't love yourself. And that's what Fidel said to me. He said to me, he said, Mama, you must love yourself. You must love yourself. You know, and he had high esteem for women. You know, he had big high esteem for women. He did, you know, I remember one of the sisters came in with, you know, the low cut and he, you know, he talked to her about that. And, you know, I tell everybody that, and I do love Minister Malcolm. I call him a prophet. I say Prophet Malcolm because I also learned a lot from him. But everybody used to say, well, why you never became a Muslim sister? I said, because I love my legs too much. I got to show my legs, you know. I love my legs too much. And, you know, he used to tell us, though, you don't have to flaunt it. You got it. Fidel used to say that. You got it, but you don't have to flaunt it. Because then it's like you're giving it away. And that stayed with us, with a lot of us, you know. And Minister Malcolm used to say to us, you know, because I wasn't going to do, I ain't going to lie, I wasn't going to cover up. My bush was like this, honey. And I had to show this stuff, okay? I wasn't going to cover my hair, and I had kind of beat up now at 79, but I had some hot-looking legs. And I want to cover these legs. And I had some high-looking legs and all that used to stick out in the back. So I wasn't going to hide it. But I didn't have to, there was a way to dress that he could just look at it in the mouth. Let him think about what's, on this.
Reverend Andy, you talk about how you didn't see any poor people or any homeless people in Cuba. Now more than ever, we're dealing with a pandemic. We're dealing with economic depression. We had Donald Trump, and in the shift to Biden, nothing has seemed to change. People are still poor. People still can't pay their rent. And we have a very divided country of people who hate each other. We have the media, mainstream media, propping up divisions, talking about how these people are stealing your jobs if they're immigrants, then talking about how all these white people are terrorists. What do you think is the best approach in your experience? You've worked, you saw and dealt with Klansmen in Nevada. You shut down a street. And people nowadays have this idea that you cannot even talk to people who disagree with you, even if it means working towards an economic goal or achievement.
But see, that is part of the plan. That is part of the plan. Because you don't know me, so you don't know how to, approach me. And we, like I said, in Nevada, there were poor little white children hungry. Poor little black children hungry. But they had always, because we found out that social services, if they gave one family, the black family, $250, they gave the white family $450. So that was to keep us divided. And to look, so you got to get to know people. That's what I'm saying. That's what we need. That's the good thing about the movement now. I'm so happy about the movement. The movement in the 50s, 60s, and 70s were great. But you talking about great is movements now. Because the young people now don't look at this. And they don't look at, your educational background or where you come from or what. You're a person to them. And that's the good thing about, the movement now, is they got all kinds and all backgrounds, all races. Because one thing about the movement in the 60s and 70s, you noticed that they were all, the majority of the black people in those movements were what? College students. They were all educated college students, the majority, okay? So when they started to go out and make a poor people's campaign, they ain't know a damn thing about poor people. They didn't, Dr. King ain't never been poor in his life. His daddy was a upper class black preacher. So Dr. King never missed a meal. Dr. King never worried about where he was going to live or anything else, and they had their own little group, and so he didn't even worry about segregation, really. Okay, because they had you just in your little group, right? So he didn't know how to really deal with it when he got there in Atlanta and other places and looked around and seen how he was saying, how can they live? He couldn't believe it. Mm-hmm. It's just like when I, got there and seen people with sewage running down the back and stuff. I was poor as hell, but they were poor. I said some people got to say it 3 or 4 times. They're poor.
And the white people?
The white people, they were white.
Yeah.
But they were poor as hell. Yeah. They were poor.
Yeah.
I was poor. But we had a pump. The water run out the pump. Them poor people going down to the creek and stuff like that getting water. And the sewage running down the back. So that has to be a common ground. We as poor people. That was one of the things I did. for the Poor People's Campaign. I went all up in them mountains, all up in them hills where the poor people was, and talked to them about the Poor People's Campaign. We had to tell Dr. King and them. And y'all, that's why y'all hear me say about Jesse ain't worth a damn. Because Jesse ain't know nothing about what they ain't do that. We did that. When I say we, people like me and other welfare rights women went all over this country getting poor people to get into the Poor People's Campaign. We talked to Dr. King before he died, before the campaign even got really off, We talked to Dr. King. We talked to Dr. Handy. T.J. Handy was the lawyer. We used to tell them what they needed to do to organize poor people. That's what I'm telling Reverend Barbara and them now. Hold it, baby. You always talking about the damn poor and you ain't got no poor. How you gonna talk? You don't know what's happening. You gotta, if I say I represent you, then I at least gotta know something about you, right? And what's going on and what you want or what you need. You understand? I can't sit and say, well, in your house you need, so and so and so. I got a daughter who come in here all the time and tell me, you need to get rid of this and you need to get the hell out. That's what I tell her. You need to get the hell out. This is my house. I live comfortable the way I want to live, right? So that's what we need to. The good thing about now, I give out food right out front. The Hispanics, they thought they could not come and get food. I said, no, come on. This food is for all of us. So now they come, and when I'm even when I'm just in my wheelchair rolling up, hey, mommy, hey, that mommy go, they help, and they invite me to their meetings and stuff. Because we get to know each other. See, long as they can keep us apart, then they know they hold a little power. Now, everybody, like I said about this stimulus, this ain't gonna get nobody out of poverty. This ain't gonna get nobody out of poverty. Nice little gift for the drug dealers come on, put it out there. The drug dealers gonna make them a nice piece of change. You know what I mean? The liquor store gonna make them, because those are the things that people use when they oppress. So let's just be truthful about it. I don't I'm glad they're getting it. This year Christmas early, this year in March or whatever. But anyway, these are the things we got to set up programs that's going to really help people. And down the street for me, there's a lot of Hispanic children, and they come up, and I always make sure I greet them and talk to them and let them know to come. You can take food home, get on, we put the food out, whatever you like, and they were surprised. But that's what you do. That's what people got to do. And that has been my thing all my life. Is to let people know who I am and what you're about. Because if you don't know what I'm about or who I am, you read some of the stuff they say about Reverend Annie, you say, oh Lord, that's a crazy, evil old woman over there. Because I don't hold back. I tell the truth. Like the preachers. All of them I said, all of y'all gonna burn in hell, boil in hell. Because you ain't doing nothing. You're doing nothing. See, so those are the things that the churches should be out in the street full force. They trying to figure out a way how they can make some damn money off of this stuff. They give out the food so they can make money and get people in church so they can have Sunday morning disco. That's not, and when people say to me, Because, you're a socialist? I never heard of. Well, of course, I used to be a communist. So it don't bother me when they say, I never heard of that. I say, Jesus Christ.
Socialist.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
When you actually shut that street down with that Klansman, did you feel he changed after you had an interaction?
Well, he got to know what black people is like. Mm-hmm. See, hatred is taught. Children are born in the world. If we have baby together, they don't know nothing about hate or dislike. That's a taught. Mm-hmm. That's something you learn. I used to live right up the street up here on Fed Street. And when we moved up there were no black families. Actually, the church moved me up there because me and the children didn't have a place to go. And so they moved me in this big old house up there on Fed Street. And it was nothing but white people. But they were like working class white people and poor white people. And so my children would come out. And so finally they started, the other children would come and talk to them, and they would talk. And they started playing together and stuff. And he's a grown man, Danny. Danny was a little boy. And he said, sitting at my dinner table, one day he was eating, and he said, a nigger is a good old thing. Now, he didn't mean no harm, but that was a word the child had heard. He had heard that word, right? He said, a nigger is a good old thing. I like niggers. He was trying to tell us he loved us, right? Mm-hmm. He said, I like niggers. And the children, I said, hold it. I said, Danny, let me tell you. Miss Annie don't want you to use that word again because that's not good. You can say black people, but you can't say that. So when I seen his mother, she had a lot of children. She had 10 children. And I said to her, you should watch the words you say around your children. Because she had, befriended me too. I said, because Danny sat there in front of all the black people and used the word nigger. And she, I'm going to beat. I said, no, you're not going to touch him. Because Danny didn't learn that word himself. Somebody else learned it for him and to him. So his daddy used to drive long-distance truck. And his daddy, he didn't see his daddy that much, But he, his daddy used the word, so he used the word. But now, Danny is a grown-up man. Yeah, he got grandchildren. And, he see me, he worked for the Baltimore City Police Department. As a matter of fact, him and his brother. And he, hey, Mama Annie, hey. He tell everybody, that's my godmother. But that's something learned. Hatred is we the first teachers of our children. And see, we got to go all the way back to why black people was brought here in the first place. And that's what I tell my children. When I say my children, I mean everybody's, all children is mine. But when I tell children and tell people, I say, do you understand you were brought here not because somebody hated you. You were brought here because they could get free. Because when we do the real history of slavery, everybody, black people, the tribes in Africa enslaved each other, okay? And the Indians enslaved us, and the Jews sold us and enslaved us. So, that's what we just tell the whole truth of the thing, and then don't allow it to get to the point our children with hatred. Because I have one son-in-law who's a Jew, who love my daughter. He thinks she walks on water. Actually, they get on my damn nerve, tell you the truth. Because he thinks she walk on water. And his poor mother like to die. when they got married, cause she is dead now, but when they got married, it was the worst thing in the world. And he, when she brought him to me, to say, this is my friend and blah blah blah, he was hesitant, and he said, "But you never blinked an eye." I said, "Hell no, you ain't nothing but a man. You're a man. What? She got a man. So what you want me to do about it? She's a grown woman. Well, she was what, 18? Yeah. So, I have one mixed child, but it wasn't by choice. It was because I was raped that's how I got to be married at 12, because I was a little girl that got raped. Now, her father is white, and I used to go around in my life hating white people, being a nationalist. And it's going to sound funny to you. You know who told me I had too much hate? That man right there.
Malcolm X.
He said, "Annie, sister, you can't hate all white people. Would you hate all black people if a black man had raped you? What would No. A man raped you." And when I talk about men that have made impact in my life, because there's only two women. One was my mother, who had me. I give her credit for that. And the other one was a nun that we were like sisters, Sister Irene. But men have made a big impact in my life. And when I look back, there's only one black man that I can say had a big impact in my life. That was my daddy. Michael Brand was like a brother to me. He was a Jew. Okay? Steve was white. Malcolm made a big impact in my life also. But I've had Jews and Italians, Hispanics, all kinds of people. But I could always I used to tell people, most of my friends are men. Because I don't know, we got along. We didn't have, I guess we weren't competing against each other or something. But, we were men and we could get along. And like Fidel made a big impact in my life. These were people that made big impact. So, and Father Witchland, who was a Catholic priest, who used to follow me all over this country, getting me out of jail. He used to follow me I don't care where they locked me up at, my priest, Father Witchland, would be there. I used to belong to, I'm a Catholic, by birth and religion. And Father Witchland would follow me and make sure I get out of jail. I remember they put me in jail in North Carolina and thought they couldn't and say I wasn't there, but Father made them find me. I never spent a month in jail. I've spent a couple of weeks, but never a month. They was, trying to give me some time, but he would always be. If he had to get, the only somebody ain't never come talk up for me was the Pope. But Father Bushland would get the Monsignors, Archbishop, everybody. He would get anybody to come to help him get me out of jail or get me out of, trouble. And, well, we used to have this mayor here who didn't like me, Schaefer, William Donald Schaefer. And he always knowed Father. That's what he used to say. Well, she got her protector. Because whatever I did, Father Witchland said, it's because God laid it on your heart. I remember we had a dinner for the poor, dinner showing what poor people eat. And I cooked some dog food and fed it to the mayor, who was Schaefer. And
Dog food? Reverend Annie.
Apple dog food, that stuff look good. You ever seen apple?
Yes, I.
All right then, that look good. Throw some onion in there. Put some onions in it. Yeah, it looked good. But they told us to eat the sorry food that they was giving us then for emergency food. We said people, that wasn't decent food for people to eat. So we said, and we was shut up because we was carrying on protesting and going into City Hall every day. So he said, well, what do y'all want? We said some decent food. And so his nutritionist from social services, Bob, what is his name? Bob Carpenter. Yeah. He said, they don't know how to eat. That's what it is. We said, well, we'll shut up if you eat the food that poor people eat. And so I cooked everything. I said, y'all give us the food. I cooked, they gave us green beans, string beans, some corn meal, nothing to make it up with. I made the cornbread with water, just like they gave it to me. And they gave us no kind of canned meats or anything like that. But it was a lot of vegetables. That's what they should give you, 2 bags of food if you go there, say you you need emergency food. So I cooked all of that, but I went to the store and I brought 15 cans of apple and I opened it up. I always had big pots because I got a lot of children. And I cooked that big pot of apple and all I did was open it up, put a little water in it and throw some onions in it and a little celery seed. And then I carried that there. I said, now this is a soup that most poor people eat. If some poor people, I didn't say most, I said some poor people eat if they can't do no better. And he ate 2 bowls. He said, what's wrong with this? Yeah, this tastes good. And after I let him finish eating it, because I told all the welfare rights people, I said, don't eat that. Don't eat the soup. Don't eat the soup. Don't eat the soup. Don't eat the soup. And then, when it was finished, and they was talking about how good it was, his nutritionist, Bob, all them talking, I went down in the shopping bag. I had a big old shopping bag full of canned goods. With the cans I opened up, right? And I said, this is what y'all just ate. And I put that apple dog food out there. His face got so red. And he was so mad. He had tears in his eyes that wouldn't come down. But his nutritionist said to me, Annie, if you was a man, I'd carry you outside. And I'd beat you to an inch of your life. I said, well, come on, let's go. You like to pretend you're a woman, so we going outside and fight. And so that's why I'm married. He said, I don't care if she is your president. Because I was the president of welfare, right? Y'all cannot bring her in. I don't want to talk to her. But Father Witchland, said the mayor got just what he deserved. He said it openly to the press. He said, mayor got what he deserved. He learned about the poor.
Yeah.
Jesus said, the poor shall be with us always. Yeah. And so, he like Father even, but he's called Father, my God, and angel. Because, but those are things I tell the young people now. I say, you can't give up. You got to continue to fight. Because we have to make the change in America. We have to make the change. See, anybody that's telling the truth and not trying to sugarcoat and make lies, you under attack. I stay under attack 24 hours. I never heard of nobody in the house nor thought of being audited in my life. But that's what they say they doing to me right now. Yeah. I said, but go ahead, do the damn audit, see what I got. You think I'm going to be dumb enough to let you find it any damn way? But they audited me to live in this spot right here. So I just laugh at them. I remember one time when up there on Gifford Avenue, when the police would come to my house every night. Man, about 4:30 in the morning, rather, 5 o'clock. Talking about some drugs. They know I had no drugs and no gun in my house. but they come or they didn't, so they didn't find nothing. And we went to court. They claimed they found some drugs, but they couldn't produce the drugs because everything have to go to a lab, right? But they got something on paper, but they ain't got. But now this lawyer that I had was a student at the University of Maryland. She was a law student. And she whooped the hell out of the Housing Authority and Baltimore City State's attorney. I mean, because she kept saying, well, show us what you got. I don't want to see the paper, what the lab say. Give me where's the physical evidence? They couldn't show no physical evidence because they didn't get no drugs out of my house. And so when we got outside and the reporters was out there, I said, first of all, let me tell y'all, if I had some guns or drugs, I live at 2206 Gifford Avenue. Only a dumbass shit where they eat.
Yeah.
Eat at. You know, only a dumbass shit where they eat at. Y'all got excuse sometimes Reverend says stuff like that. By the way, I say that stuff in the pulpit sometimes too, you know, because they need to be shocked into reality.
Yeah.
I say it to them. I say, I ain't that dumb. I wouldn't have it in my house, around my family. You know, so they have tried all kinds of things. And they put out one time that I was the mother of the BGF, the Black Guerrilla Family. And and my thing to them was, or YGF, I'm sorry. I say, look, first of all, you don't even know what the hell BGF means or what it's about. Now, YGF is, I call them young goofy fools, bunch of young children that just done got together, you know, and made up that kind of stuff. I say, but BGFs were, honey, people that fought real hard. We fought hard as hell. You know why the BGF came about? Because y'all were killing Black Panthers wholesale and putting us in jail wholesale. That's where BGF originated from. That's the way we had certain ways we would let each other know who was who. And in the prison system and out in the street. And we continued to do the work that I'm doing till the day. You know, so I say, if you want to say that I'm a BGF mother, you're right. But you don't say that I run no organized gang, because that has never been, you know, we've been an organization. I say, and you don't even know the history of even where the Black Panthers originated from.
Yeah.
The Black Panthers was the Black Panther Party, which was a political party. A political party that ran campaigns and made big changes in the South. Even if we didn't win elections, there were big changes from the Black Panther Party. So people, we took on the name of the Black Panthers. See, again, these were college students, by the way, who started the Black Panther Party, who studied about the original Black Panther Party. And this took on the name, and then they took on leadership and stuff like that. But those are things that we have to make sure that all our people, all young people of all races know and understand. Because the Black Panther Party would not have made it either if it wasn't for some of our white brothers and sisters who gave us a lot of support. If some of the Hispanic brothers and sisters, and until the day, gave us support, okay? We would have been killed. And when the Civil Rights Movement, lots of us would have been dead. We have had people that you may think was the biggest racists in the world who hovered us and hid us and sheltered us, you know, in their houses, in their, barns and other places. And you may think so-and-so, or, I've had a sheriff brother and his family taking us to hide us from his own brother. See, so this is a real thing. People get to know. And people, you know what's, see, you can tell a child and teach that child. But once you grow up, it's got to be within your heart. That's the difference in Donald Trump. You see, in his heart, he know he's wrong. But he's so arrogant and nasty and privileged, think he's a privileged person that he can do what he wants. Now, everybody hollering about Uncle Joe. I'm talking about Joe Biden now.
Yeah.
Uncle Joe! Uncle Joe was one of the biggest damn racists in the world.
Yeah.
All right? Uncle Joe
Tell
was
it.
one of the biggest damn racists in the world. But Uncle Joe is also a survival. Uncle Joe know his old ass ain't gonna get nowhere without he make the changes that he making now. You know? But they be, oh, Joe. I said, Joe, go back. See, don't you don't forget. You don't supposed to forget. We owe y'all the history. We owe y'all that history. We owe to tell the history to keep it going. I had a buddy named Yetta who was a Jewish woman, and she used to all the time get her grandparents to tell her about the Holocaust and stuff. And I used to say, Yetta, wife, she said, we need to know this. She used to teach it in their schools, in the Jewish school. We need to know these things. You don't hold hatred because that consumes you. Just like I learned that I could not hate a white man because of one incident that happened to me. Because who was it hurting? That man went on to sit on the damn Virginia Supreme Bench. The old bastard became a judge. Never had another child because, see, God always said, God has a way of doing things too. All he got is that one little girl. And he never could claim her, and stuff like that. But, see, the hatred was consuming me, hurting me. Because his guilt see, if you do me wrong, your guilt gonna stay there. You ain't gonna go nowhere. That's why I tell people all the time, there's things I know, battles I can't fight. And when I can't fight those battles, I know it. And so I give it up to a higher power. I know that it's gonna be for it. I know change gonna come. I know. That's why I know America gonna change because of y'all. Because the people that's fighting, the young people is fighting now. That's why people like me have to keep the fight going to, and y'all in the fight and support you. Sometimes when they tell me, I can't walk no more. I said, well, get your damn chair and roll on long. Or get your walking cane. Get your walker and get in the demonstration. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Get in there. See, but all these things we have to be able to make a change for even a better world. For a better world. Because we look all over the world, we can find racism. My first experience with racism was not with white folks. My first experience with racism was with black people. You know why? Because I ain't light-skinned. In Richmond, was two high schools, more now. One was Louis Armstrong and the other one was Maggie L. Walker. Only two high schools black children could go to. The darker you was, the closer to the back you had to sit. Mm-hmm. The lighter you was, you could be up front. They had no dog cheerleaders. They had no, the band. The course you could play the tuba or something in the back of the band. But you couldn't even be in the marching band if you was dog. My mother had two twins. My daddy looked like the street out there. He blew them pants. But my mother was very light. Because, she was mixed too. But she looked very light. She had twins, and the twins turned out like that. Okay? 2 sisters. Both of them wanted to be cheerleaders. I never forget it. I was a little girl then. And both of them was in high school, and they wanted to be cheerleaders. One of them could be a cheerleader. The light-skinned one, they accepted. But the dark one, they didn't accept. And so my daddy said neither one of them could be cheerleaders. He said neither one of them could be. But even in my own family, because I got light people and dark people, and they would separate. I'd seen it in my own family. My aunt said to me one time, and she used to always treat me real good. One of my aunts, she said, "You'd be a pretty little girl if you weren't so dark."
No.
See, so that kind of stuff is what we are taught. Like in a part of Richmond, it used to be North Side. Now, if you was dark, you couldn't live in North Side. Black people live there, but they wouldn't even sell your house if you was a dark-skinned person. My daddy tried to buy a house in North Side. His brother was light like his mother. Uncle Johnny brought the house. So Daddy said, he going to buy the house down the street, right? No. He was too dark. See, so all of this is a taught thing. A baby don't know no difference. You take a black baby and put it in China, it ain't going to speak nothing but Chinese. I got a friend that live in Cuba right now. And she had her baby in Cuba. That baby couldn't speak nothing but Spanish. I said, do you ever talk your language around him? Because she spoke Spanish too. She was a Panther sister. She spoke Spanish. And so the baby spoke what I said, that's all they hear. So children only pick up what they learn. They learn, and pick up stuff that's around them. It's just like beauty. I look at now, they got plus size, they glorious plus size models. I laugh about that because I remember back in the day, I got girls of all sizes. Well, hey, most of them got, even Sweet Thing done got a little meat on her bones now, child. But I had, daughters of all sizes. And I've always tried to make all my daughters, fit. And one of my daughters said to me she was fat to model. And my second husband, he had her say that. And I said, yeah. He looked at me, he said, why would you agree to that? I said, well, they ain't gonna. He said, He started a whole modeling company. Nothing but, you had to be fat to be in the company. Yeah, the biggest, we had a model of 400 and some pounds. And she used to do lingerie. She said, Minnie did lingerie. So, see, it is a thing that is taught and learned. You don't have to be skinny. And now I look on the television, now that me and Dina and them, we laugh about it. She said, Mom, remember we used to have the modeling and doing all this stuff? I said, yeah. She said, now look at that. They got all the fat women on there, the large women. But see, in Cuba, them men like meat anyway, they. That's why I used to have fun there. They like me. Whoa! I never. And yeah,
it's true though.
And in Africa and stuff like that, them men be woo. They like you when you got meat on your bone. Mm-hmm. I remember the man asked me one of my Arab brothers asked me about my oldest daughter because she just small and she always been small. He said, "What happened to her, Annie?" I said, "What do you mean? You don't feed her?" I said, "Yes, she." He said, "Ooh, she's just so tiny." I said, well, that's where she want to be. He said, no, well, let me look at one of the other girls. I said, he used to tell me all the time, I'm going to buy a Dore. I said, no, we don't sell them. You can, if you can get one, you can have her. But he used to talk about Sweetie. He said, she looks sick. And she the one you start. That's why the other daughter wanted to model, because she was the one who was a paid professional model. But she was so skinny. He said, "Ooh, what happened?" I said, "I don't know. What happened to her? She just small." I said, maybe, she take after her family. He said, "She don't, you didn't adopt her?" I said, "Nope. That's the first child I had, but she was just a small girl, and now that she had another sister that was small, that's the biggest girl I got now, which is Dina. But see, that's a learned thing. Yeah. All of these are learned habits. Still are just accepting us for who we are and what we are, and who we are, what we are. That's why I used to tell my children, never say nobody ugly, never call nobody, talk about appearances or anything else, Never do that. Never, never, never do that. I remember, he dead now, but one of the best son-in-laws I had was a poor guy. My girls used to all the time try to get, men that these had big time jobs and all that kind of stuff. But this guy, he worked, but he was poor, and he didn't dress all that nice, and it wasn't a thing. And I said, don't do that. But he was one of the nicest people, and so him and my daughter got together, and she used to, dress him and stuff like that. The girl down the street from me she said, what happened to him? He looked so good. I said, yeah, he don't. He look good to you now, don't it? I remember the whole neighborhood used to make fun of that boy. But that's the way. You don't do that. I tell people that all the time. You take people as they come and accept them. That's why I like being in the movement, because I get accepted in the movement as a minister, and I'm an ordained minister, but I don't have to play bullshit and use fancy words, because the brothers and sisters and the young people, everybody in the movement accept me as Reverend Annie Chambers. Mm-hmm. I don't have to pretend, oh, you guys are right. I hated that. I grew up with preachers, and I thought I hated them, because the majority of them is big bullshitters. You might find one or two out the bunch kind of good, but the majority of them, because they always talking about how they supposed to prosperity. Prosperity is for all of us. You gonna give me your last dollar so that I can, drive a car and you walking. That's dumb as hell. That you walking, I'm driving a Cadillac. That's dumb. To me, that's pimping and hustling. That's what I call them. I said, you ain't nothing but a damn pimp. I tell preachers that all the time. That's why they don't like for me to come to the conference either, but I don't care. I go just so I can cuss them out. But I tell them, I said, you ain't nothing but a damn pimp. You got a great big house, and the majority of your congregation living in public housing. Yeah. I remember, I'm going to tell y'all this, and then I'm going to let y'all talk for me. Joe Osteen. Joe Osteen, yeah. He is the slickest. Ow. And he talking. He live in a damn mansion, got a mega church. Everybody got to pledge $100 a month or more. The poor people got to get 100. The rest got to get more. And he talking. So we had a conference because Billy Graham's son knew not that he had already told him, don't say nothing. She won't say nothing to you. but he going to convince me to come speak at his church. I said, you sure? You sure you want me there? Oh, yes, I want you there because you are very articulate. Total lie right there. But anyway, you're very charismatic, you know. I said, no, you really want me there so you can have some more black folks, you can get some money out, and some more poor white folks and more poor people heard by saying you got a, poor preacher there. Oh, no, we're going to give you a good, wonderful honorarium. I said, no. First of all, I don't need an honorarium. Jesus never got paid one damn cent, not 1 cent. He did. He raised the dead. He healed the sick. He went and prayed for people. He ministered to people. You ever hear anywhere where somebody gave Jesus 1 penny? That was what he was supposed to do. I say, you're a follower of Christ. Why is you running around in that Mercedes? And then there's your other people riding or walking and hollering nothing. You give back what you got. You give back. I live off of Social Security. But I give back most of my money for the movement. Yeah. Most of my money go for the movement. Sometimes I have to beg rent for myself because most of my money go to the movement. Because if you are Christian, if you truly, truly believe, then God will make a way for you to have what. He never seen me hungry. He never seen me outdoors. And he never seen me without clothes. And that's what I tell him. Those are your basic things, as Fidel say. I give you the basics. That's what he used to tell his people. You get the basics. You didn't see people starving to death and everything in Cuba. So to me, that's the basics. Yeah. That's all Jesus promised you. So that's what I say I got. It's my sister, yeah, but I want some damn luxury while I'm here. I said, see, that's why your old ass dying and falling out there. You got all that luxury and you're unhappy. Big house and everything, and you're unhappy. You understand? You're unhappy. So that's we got to understand that that's what we need to do to take care of each other, to know each other. We got to be able to meet each other where we at. Donald Trump people and stuff like they don't. I do feel sad for a lot of the people that follow him. They just stupid. They don't know no better. They don't. They just now look at them people going to jail for dumb shit. That's dumb. Dumb. I said, okay. He told them, listen to this, we going down there and tear up. What do you mean we? If me and you going to do something, we do it together. Yeah. Donald Trump was setting up in the White House in the air while they ass out there in the street, and now they people going to jail. I do feel, I pray for them. Yes, I do. I pray for them because that's ignorance. They got caught up in ignorant bullshit. And when I meet poor people that want to tell me how good Donald Trump made it, or he gonna make it, I don't get upset with them. I say, is you any better off? You living any better? Because you don't live next door to me, because my skin different from yours, but you rather be homeless, as one man told me he'd rather be homeless. Then I said, well, see, your ass still out here up under this bridge. And by the way, don't you see them black people over there? Y'all sharing a bridge. That's stupid. So these are things that the children now are seeing a lot different. And even those racist people that's following him, see, that's what they were taught. I bet you their children won't come up that way. Because they see a different world. The world is different now. Yeah. They see a different world. And it's going to be, that's what's going to make the difference. That's why we got to keep on fighting.
I have a question. Mm-hmm. A question I came across the country to ask you because what you're talking about is we talk to anybody that we can find common ground on. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have this kind of like bourgeois lefty people that attack us. You know, our channel, everything, the people we talk to, because we'll go out, we'll talk to Trumpsters, we'll talk to libertarians, whatnot. And we're told that we're part of a red-brown alliance, that we shouldn't talk to fascists, that we shouldn't talk to racists. What do you tell a person like me who says, no, we have to try to get these people to understand that we have more in common than the people upstairs running shit.
Right.
But yet they chastise us and they cast us out for trying to talk to these people. What is your advice to me, a white person, a white man? So
to continue, because if you don't continue, that will stay as it. If you don't continue to talk to racist and ignorant racist white folks, ignorant black people, brown, red, or whoever, then they don't get to even challenge their brain. They keep it. They think everything is the same. Yeah. That's why I do talk to them. I talk to them. Yeah.
But me, they said it's not your place.
Yes,
Reverend Annie can say that. You cannot.
Reverend Annie cannot say that no more than you, if that's true. Okay? Because Reverend Annie is black. So even I can't tell you how to feel as a white person. I can tell you to read me as a black person and then talk. You have a right to talk to anybody of any groups. I will talk to the Ku Klux Klans. I talk to them dumbass skinheads. I will. Yeah. I talk to them. You understand? Because unless you talk, you don't know nothing. If I walk by you every day and don't say nothing, do you know anything? No. You just think that's an uppity old black woman or evil old black woman or poor, dumb, ignorant black woman. You do. I talk to people and I talk this way for a reason. You know, and then I when they say, you know, certain words, I laugh at them and don't. They be trying to talk this words that they think I don't understand, and then I show them. I say, honey, I have a master's in social work. I have a master's, but I don't have to flaunt that. That's a piece of paper and a bunch of bullshit unless I use it for the goodness of the people. You understand? So continue to talk to them. And, you know, you're going to always be criticized because you're making a difference. You're making a change. You may not get everybody, but you can get somebody. You get 1, 2, 3, no matter who. Get them and talk to them. Talk to them. And let them understand. Try to understand that what you are saying. Let them understand that they could talk to a person like me. They don't know me. They may think it's just nothing and hatred in my heart for them. I don't hate. See, people don't really know what love is. They don't really know what it is. So, but I don't hate. I don't hate nobody. I talk about people like Donald Trump, not just Donald Trump, because we've had a lot of assholes in the White House now. But I talk about them and point out what they do wrong, but there's no hatred in my heart. There's no hatred in my heart for them, you know. And I get a chance, I tell them openly how I feel about them. Just like Jesse. There's no hatred in my heart for him, but I don't like the things that he do. I don't like the things that Ab. You're pimping. You're doing certain things. So, yes, but we gotta, unless we can talk to each other and meet each other where we at, we're never going to be anything. So continue to talk to them. Let them continue to criticize, because that gives them something to talk about. And just like I told you on some of my sermons, they say, did you hear what she said in the pulpit? I say, you're damn right. Did you hear what the hell I said? Yes, I said it. Because you got to get good sense. Make it do. See, get the Bible sometime and look up some of them words. That's what I tell them. Look up some of them words. See what it means. You don't tell me what's a good word. I know what's a decent word. And I know some words I can tell you that ain't decent too. So, but we got to understand that we got to stop trying to appease people just to get along.
Yeah.
I like if I do something wrong and you tell me, because that make me a better person. That make me a better person. That sometimes me and Ian, we be talking political stuff and something, we don't agree on. Mm-hmm. But that's all right, because we still going to be friends. I'm still his mama. You understand? And I like that. Because no one person is right. Mm-hmm. No one person knows it all. See, no one group, or you go out and talk to the skinhead. I talk to a skinhead because I say, you's a dumbass fool. You run around doing dumb stuff. I talk to him. Just like I talk to the Klan or anybody else, because that's the way, that at least get him something to think. That give him something to think on. Because like I said, once we did that demonstration with the Klan and stuff, they learned how to fight. They all they know is covering their damn head up and running around. I say, y'all a bunch of damn chumps. Because don't be together. Catch one of y'all by yourself, you scared as hell. Mm-hmm. Catch one of us, we fight you like a damn cat and a rat. Yeah. You understand? Because it's in me to fight. I'm an old woman, sometime in the wheelchair, and I be rolling along. People, ain't you scared? I said, no, I got an ice pick. I got this, I can get your ass down. I ain't scared to roll along in that wheelchair. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I don't need no whole lot of bunch to help me fight. That means you're a chump. You're going to jump on one person or two or three people because it's a whole lot of you. So, like I know a couple of skinhead young people, and their mama's really upset about them being that, but they a bunch of damn chumps. Yeah. I said, come on down in the projects. Bring your ass on down there and talk junk. You're so bad. Dumb stuff. Just like a bunch of the gang members that's black. You come on. Get out of your territory and come on. But you got to have, that's what a gang is. See, you got to have somebody to all the time back you up. Yeah. Back you up. I used to tell my children, I had a damn gang. So y'all just hang together. There's a gang of y'all. Hell, you got 12 brothers and 13 sisters. There's a gang of y'all. It is one of my buddies in the welfare, right? Here come the Chambers gang. The Rogers gang, because that's their last name. She said, here come the Rogers gang. I said, yeah, that's right. But see, that's what a gang, so if you don't talk to them, they don't know. You go anywhere and talk to anybody and make your opinion known to them, because if you don't, it will never happen. Don't never back up. Don't never back up.
So when people give me shit, I can say, Reverend Annie said it's okay.
Right.
All right.
You tell them. I said, God damn it, I ain't gonna back up.
Reverend Annie says it's okay.
That's right. Don't never back up. You talk to anybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. But that's what you do. You talk to anybody, any group of people in the street or anywhere else. I remember we used to have a junior high school over there in the white area, and they started sending black children over there, and it got so that their fighting was, You know, they jump on the children, and even the dumbass grown people would get out there. So they put 3 of my children over there. 3 of my children. But my children come from a big family too, because their grandmother had 22 of them, okay? They had, and then, you know, all the cousins and all that shit. So they put 3 of my children over there. They put 2 of my in-laws' children over. I think about maybe 12 of them was in that one school, but they were all in one family. And they talked about they going to have the bus got to come in the school, and they get on the bus. I said, God damn, this year, like in the 60s and 50s and shit, no. You ought to be able to stand at the bus stop, wait for the bus, right? So, Lulu, which is my children's uncle, his daddy was Hispanic. And so Lulu looked just like his family, you know. And they really they used to pick on him, wanted to pick on him. I told my children, I said, if they touch one damn Rogers, all of you better fight. Every damn Rogers in the... So they had to fight, and we went to the school, and the principal, he was like, well, so-and-so to them. I said, oh, yes, it did. His grandmother had him, his uncle, and I had him. So you hit one of them. Well, we was trying to get it straight. I said, it's straight, ain't it? It's straight. It got so black children went to school, because I told all the rest of the black children, I said, the police ain't going to, come out, the police going to protect you. The police sat there and watched the damn children fight. See? But they had all white policemen sitting out there. I said, bust their damn head open with a brick bottle. Yes, we went to school, and I told the judge. I said, yeah. You gonna stand there and let me beat the hell out of you, Idiota? Yes, I told my children to fight. Yes. Come on, this mother told me. I said, yes, I did. Yes, I did. And my baby girl is really, she's kind of off like a father. You know, she really off. My baby girl took a big stick and beat this man. He was a grown man. He was in the fight. But she beat him so bad with that stick. Damn. He had to want to pressing charges. And when it got through, Bill Swisher was the state's attorney. He said, go have charges up against him because that's a child. He said, that's a child, and he had no business fighting, no. And he was the state's attorney, but he said, Mama, come here. I said, yeah, what you want, Bill? Because I thought he was going to, I was ready for him. He said, go, we going right now. You go get, we going to press charges against him. He a child, but she had messed him up really bad, big eyes and everything. She fought him with that stick. But see, that's what people want. It keeps the ruling class, long as we fighting among ourselves, that keeps them on power. People like Donald Trump. People like other rich folks. Okay? That keeps them on top. Because we still fighting at each other. So, they got I hate that class, the working class, this class. I say, let me tell you, if you work for, I'm not poor. I say, you're damn lying. You work for a living. Y'all poor. Only 2 classes of people in America, rich and poor. Ain't no middle. You may got a little more than me, like I had a little more than the poor folks down there in Claggett, Maryland. But you poor. You poor. So, in a socialist society, we wouldn't have a class. See? So, yeah, Reverend is a socialist minister. Proud of it. I says it loud and says it proud. I'm a socialist minister. Jesus Christ was a socialist. And I'm a follower of Jesus. And he said no hungry, no homeless, none of that. That's what Jesus fought for the whole time he was here. Jesus never took one penny for anything he did. Nothing. And so all these bullshit Sunday morning disco preachers, they all gonna burn in hell. They all gonna burn in hell because that's what they do. See, that's what poor people, we as a people got to, once we get that straight, see, because I tell people, I say, you know one thing, what helped a lot of racists and segregation is religion. Is religion. The churches, it paid for them old preachers, them old black preachers to have big mega churches and big churches. They make a nice piece of change. Make a nice living off of that. It pays. Like it pays for them white folks to get up there and lie and teach hate. Like Jimmy Swagger and them, teaching hate. It pays. That's money. So they use religion to do that. And so that's why I like the movement, because I don't have to bullshit. Mm-hmm. I don't have to play the game. You just know, here come Reverend Annie, and she's a minister. I don't need a class. I don't need anything. You just need to know that I come to do what I can and do the work that I can for everybody. See, that's what we do.
One last question for me.
Yes,
you talked about the freedom schools and the impact that had. Right now, there's a lot of miseducation. When we're barely taught about the Black Panthers. They're taught in a negative way, like they were crazy radicals. Never like that, who they really were, the essence of who they were. Right. And we're also taught empire education from the Western perspective. Cuba, Fidel was an evil dictator. Everything that's happening in Latin America, that's their fault. They're all dictators. They're all socialist, communists. We weren't taught what America did and the imperialism that they pushed that forced these populations, including even up till now, to leave their countries and flee because of the sanctions and the civil unrest caused by the American empire. What would you say if to people who would like to start something like the freedom schools all over again? Because it seems like it's needed.
It is needed. It is definitely, the freedom schools we taught respect, first of all. In the freedom school, we taught self-awareness in the freedom schools. We also taught the basic, things you need the arithmetic. Actually, the last freedom school, I was the principal of Big Mama's house.
Really?
Yeah. Big Mama's house was the last freedom school that I know that was around. But we taught children, and in our freedom school, we had white children, we had some Hispanic children, we had, what was it? His father was Jewish, his mother was black. We had 3 Jewish children because they were Jews. But there was a house that we had taken. The city had it as a whole house. I don't know no better word, y'all. They used to, where the man and all them other people carried women. Well, we found out where the house was, and I went in and broke the lock and called the press. And we took the house and made a freedom school. 2212 Maryland Avenue was our freedom school. And it was a big 3-story, great big old house. When we got there, it was great big round beds and the burls of the wall. And we had to take all that down. We knew what it was. I gave the whiskey and all that stuff to the homeless and all the food they had in the refrigerators and stuff. And we had a freedom school that started from 7 in the morning and went until 8 o'clock at night every day, 5 days a week. we taught children. We need schools like that. We need programs like that. Not these bullshit things we teaching you to be a man. I hate when people say women can't teach young men. Because you can. Course, you're gonna see somebody like you. So yeah, you bring men into their lives. You bring decent men into. But if we didn't raise our sons, Lord knows. And some of us, I tell them, I said, see, that's why your boy like it is, because you didn't raise him, and like don't cook or don't be a man. Big deal. When a child get 12 years old and you think back over your life, pretty much you knew in your mind what you wanted your life to go like. Pretty much in your mind. Now things change as you get older. But by the time you're 12, you pretty much got an idea of what you want in your life. So I tell parents we are here to guide and lead our children. And a freedom school would be the place we need to teach children about the history and who they is. Just like I just said and talked about slavery. We need to teach children all of that. We don't need to pull out the glamorous bullshit part of it, okay? You ask children, who was it? One little boy told me, say, Harriet Tubman was the only slave he know. That's sad. There are lots of people we could talk about. Or they want to talk about, what's his name, Lord? Actually, Andrew Jackson he's in Andrew Jackson's family. But anyway, he come from the black part of the family. One of Andrew Jackson's slave children's, a women child, okay? But anyway, he was a slave in reality. His mama was a slave, and Andrew Jackson ain't married his mama. He just, whatever. That's another story. Because when they be talking about pedophiles, I say, shit, y'all had presidents who were pedophiles. What do you think? What you think? They were pedophiles. And doing the stuff that they doing. So don't come using those words to me. All of a sudden, he got his eyes. I say, damn right, they got eyes. They gonna look. But we need to teach our children about all parts of history. We need that. Remember how much shit the Jews caught when they came to America? We need to teach that. Jews caught hell when they came to America. I remember even in the movement and before the movement, the Jews couldn't deal with nothing but the black, because that's they children, but they taught their children. They didn't let them forget who they were. Because in Virginia, where I come from and all down south, used to be these signs. It said, no Jews, no niggers. Honest. Were signs. You on the water fountains, on the bathrooms. So, I tell my Jewish brothers and sisters now, I say, baby, y'all don't remember, but I can tell you that your grandparents remember this. That they were in the same category I'm in. Okay? So we need to teach our families and teach our children, and we need freedom schools. And why we call them freedom is because you're freeing your mind. You're freeing your mind. Your mind ain't shackled. You understand? When children you go to Cuba again, I love Cuba. Y'all must understand that by now. I really do. I just like their way of life. But the children get taught such great education in their schools, see. And they're not taught the stuff that we're taught here. Like my grandson, he was talking about what black people. I said, first of all, let me tell you something. Washington, D.C. was laid out by a black man. You go back and you tell your teacher, because she had these little lists. I put down some. I said, tell her she wouldn't even be able to wipe her ass. Because black people developed, a black man made toilet paper, okay? So tell her that. Tell her all she could do was brush her hair till the straightening comb came out. So tell her all these things. She could brush her hair, was maybe already straight, but with the way she wanted laid dyed to the side there was that straightening comb and stuff like we did. So don't even think that you know that your people didn't do anything. We've done a lot of things. Wouldn't be no damn America. Hell, we built it. Architecture, we don't get the credit. I said, turn the damn light on. They tell you the white man that developed that. That's a lie. His slave developed it, and he took the credit. So don't get upset, though, because I do lots of things that nobody know, and it don't bother me. It don't bother me. Because I didn't do it for them. Like some of my neighbors sometimes they say, oh, Miss Annie, you shouldn't give so-and-so, this because they said this about you. I look at them and smile. I say, that's all right, baby. That's all right. That's all right. I help them anyway. I do what I can for them anyway. Because, see, that's again what we know what love is about. And see, love is really Christianity. That's being a Christian. When you have true love in your heart, that you can just give freely. You can give freely to somebody and not expect some back. You don't even have to say thank you to me. I don't care. Fine with me. I'm happy. Because I feel good that I could do it. Like some of my neighbors sometimes, they had a problem with their rent. They done messed up, the housing authority will mess up on their rent. I said, come on, I get it straightened out. One of them just cussed me out the other day. They was going to put her out. Lady right down the street. They was going to evict her. Because her son got caught with the drugs, but not in her house. But because she live in public house, I said, oh, hell no, you can't do that. But that's all right. She don't have to say thank you. That's what you do. Mm-hmm. See, that's what the preacher's supposed to do. But that's what all of us supposed to do. And when we get to that part, that's the change there. Look at the George Floyd demonstration. I looked at that. I tell you, I felt so good. I felt so good. Breonna Taylor, I looked at that. All the things that make me feel real good. Look at all the people out demonstrating. And I remember one time they tried to just put me out public housing, and I looked, the news reporter came, he said, we got 500 people and they still coming. 500 people. They just surrounded my house, they had the truck out there to put my stuff on. Try to say I ain't pay my rent, but I did. But money was coming from everywhere. We paid the rent. I paid my rent. I had, then they're going to apologize to it was an error. That's what they told it after but the press showed it. 500 people or more had got there in that little bit of time. See, that's what we have to do. We have to always support. Your fight is my fight. And my fight is your fight. And so we have to do that. We have to make change. We have to make change. Minister Malcolm always said, we got to make change from the bottom and it'll go up. Yes. Make it from the bottom and it'll go up. Now, Fidel would tell you, your fight is my fight. Because he said, if they take Cuba, they take another country. Venezuela, they take another country, okay? They're going to continue because they're greedy. So all of us have to fight together. All of us have to fight together. So all our fights are the same. So we got to keep those. We got to get those schools and keep them, because the children will learn if we do that.
Last question. So you talked about Malcolm X a lot.
Yeah.
We talked about Martin Luther King Jr. One of my favorites, Fred Hampton, Rainbow Coalition, bringing
Big
people
Fred.
together. Big Fred. Big Fred. But you also talked a little bit about some of the leaders today. We talked about Jesse, Reverend Al. And, you know, we've been out there looking for the next Malcolm X, next Fred Hampton, next, you know, Martin Luther King Jr. We don't necessarily see it, and especially with the Democratic Party nowadays. Who are some of the leaders today within the movement that we can look up to? And also finish up on your feelings on the Democratic Party today.
Well, there's a lot of people. There's no one individual. When you talk about leaders, there are people doing great things all over. I think, well, she's a couple of years younger than me, but she's still fighting on the human rights issue. Is Marion Kramer out of Detroit. Marion fights like hell, been fighting for many days. Her daughter fights, Carolyn. See, that's the good thing about today, too. I'm glad we don't have no one or two individuals, because then they knock them off and destroy the movement. We standing in the room of leaders. My son, homeboy, fight like hell. You hear me? Ian fight like hell. And when I sometimes I know his wife said, Lord, I wish your mother wouldn't call, or she done got so she get used to me calling him that. I'm pushing him to stay in the political arena because we need somebody in there like him. But he's a hell of a fighter. We need somebody, and look at the Black Lives Matter movement. Those young people, I can't pick one of them out of them. There are a lot of leaders in that movement. There are a lot of young people, both black, white, brown, Hispanic. It's a young woman up the street there named Sissy. Hispanic young lady. Sissy is rough. She fight hard, She's a young woman. What she said, she 20. She just turned 20. But she been fighting a long time. So, that's the good thing about it. If they kill Reverend today, they just killed Reverend. That don't mean that all of y'all, young women and men won't continue to fight. So they can't stop the move. Remember when they killed Dr. King, how things slowed down. When they killed Minister Malcolm, slowed down, right? Ain't gonna happen this time. Ain't gonna happen this time. You see, that's why the Democratic Party keep trying to incorporate and again, old Uncle Joe and them with their bullshit. Yeah. Okay? With their bullshit, they come along with their bullshit and tell you how good the Democratic Party was. When I was a kid, my daddy was a Republican. Because the Democratic Party was the ones kicking our ass like a rubber ball. Mm-hmm. And if you look back in the history, when it comes to black people, it was the Republican Party that was supporting black people getting into political arena in the first place, not the Democrats. See, the Republican Party, just like I tell them skinheads and the class, y'all a bunch of damn chumps though. You gotta all be, you're chumped out. Mm-hmm. When the Democrats put pressure on you, you're chumped out. Mm-hmm. That's what happened. So, but if you go in the South, back in the day when I was a kid, the majority of poor people, black people, were Republicans because they were the people, the party that would throw a crumb to you, you know, not too much. Don't give them too much. Just throw them a little crumb there. Yeah, Mr. So-and-so got a stove, and you ain't going to sell to nobody but your, you know, little surrounding, but you got that stove, you know. And Mr. So-and-so is good to you because so-and-so, my daddy was a bootlegger, by the way. He was a minister, but he was a bootlegger. But see, they never hit his steel because, you know, that was Reverend Chambers, and he could keep the rest of the natives quiet. You understand? So, you know, let his steel run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, that's the way that they play them games.
Yeah.
See, well, they can't play them bullshitting games on us no more. They can't play them bullshitting games no more. So now, we don't need no 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5 leaders. We got many leaders. Many leaders. Many. And I like it. When I see young people out there and I say, go ahead on, thank you. I look up, I say, thank you, Jesus. Because we got many, many leaders. Young people fighting all over the place. Like say you say you go and talking to everybody. Back in the day, they wouldn't have did that, right? They'd have kept it. But you a leader. You're a leader. Because you going and getting into everybody's mind. That's leadership. That's leadership. See, some people just like to say, well, I'm the head. And ain't doing a damn thing. I say, yeah, that's what you is. A big hole, empty damn head, doing nothing. A big hole, your empty damn head, doing nothing. Leaders get out and get among their people. Just like Donald Trump. He never was no damn leader. He just was a little privileged, spoiled-ass kid. You know, that was his thing. He had always had everything all his life, so he felt that he was an entitlement. That made him entitled to, and look at the dummies that follow him. You know, made him entitlement. You know, but that's the good thing I like now. A leader can pop up from a college. A leader can pop up from the street. A leader can pop up from anywhere. You got young people, or you got people just standing up now saying we won't take this no more, and we're fighting. That makes leadership. Oh, God, cut that off.
Hey.
Thank you.
I think that means time is up. Reverend Annie, this was amazing.
Thank you, darling. Thank y'all for coming.
We could talk to you for 5 hours.
Yeah, thank you, darling. Thank y'all. I love you. Thank you. Come back and see me again.
We will.
And see what Reverend putting down with my buddies. See that's a leader over there. Me and him
is one of my favorites. I've been trying to meet him